Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game. Hello there. You are listening to the Now Go Lead 90-Day Leadership Challenge podcast series. I hope you will find these podcasts insightful as we start the year with a 90-day leadership challenge. You know, when I commit to talk to anybody about leadership, I always start with the discussion about leadership philosophy. It's super important. It's super critical when you're talking about the onset of the leadership journey, because in many ways it's going to set the tone and the expectations for where you're going to go. I've learned that it's one thing to actually have a leadership philosophy. It's one thing to have a philosophy about life or the way you're going to handle things, but a completely different thing to actually implement and follow what you claim to believe. I think in many ways that's the struggle of life, is daily, am I going to get up and live to my own expectations? Am I going to follow my ideals? Do I live up to them on a daily basis? That is the struggle we all engage in every day. Now, I think being a teacher, as most leaders are, we have a normal flow of people coming into our office asking for clarity, asking for direction, and of course, being the wise and mature leader, we always have some good advice, right? This is going to help you move forward, and this is going to do this for you. I have the perfect answer for your problem. What I found a lot of times, though, is the advice we give to others is what we think is good for them, but not always maybe what we would do ourselves, or sometimes we have a hard time following our own advice. I've seen this a lot, even for myself. I look across the table at someone I'm talking to, and I'm like, I know exactly what you need to do, and this would solve your problem. But if I were to turn around on myself, I might have the same advice, but maybe I don't really feel like I want to do that for myself. Easy to give advice, hard to follow it. That's probably the way to put that. This had me thinking about a story in the Bible. King David. Now, David was king of Israel. He had everything. He had money, he had authority, he had riches, he had, whatever you could ask for, that's kind of what he had. He had 3-4 different wives. Anyway, one day he's up on the roof, just doing a walk around. He sees a woman, another man's wife, taking a bath, and he kind of abuses his power as king and brings this woman into his house. He has an affair with her. She gets pregnant. He murders her husband, and then he tries to cover it all up. Kind of a sordid deal. You could make a whole movie about it. It was a mess. Interesting is that for about a year, nothing happened. It was a cover-up and no one found out about it. But about a year later, a prophet, someone in David's kingdom who had some level of influence with him, found out about it and decided to come to David and talk to him about it. He gave a story of a very rich man who had everything and a lot of livestock. And he also told about a poor man who really didn't have anything in the whole world except one little baby lamb. And in the story, this very rich man had a friend come into town, and he decided to prepare a banquet for him. And instead of taking something from his own livestock and preparing it, he decided to go to this poor man who had nothing in this world. He took the lamb from him, slaughtered it, and used that to have a feast with his friend who had come in from out of town. And David heard this story, and he was completely outraged, and he said, "This man deserves to die. Tell me who he is. He deserves to die." And the prophet turns around and he says, "You're that man." I bet David, you were talking about cringe. I bet David just wilted. And I can't even imagine. I bet it hit so hard. Here's the deal. There's probably some real obvious glaring issues you're facing right now that you're continuing to ignore. You've got some issues with your leadership. You've got some things that you're not dealing with, that you're trying to cover up. And really what you've done is you've made some really bad agreements with yourself. You've decided that what's right and good for others is probably not what you want to do for your own leadership. And what you've actually done is you've kind of learned to cope and hide your own issues while still counseling on others how they should break free and change their situation. Leaders, you do have to deal with your own issues. You do have to acknowledge them, and you do have to deal with the things that are holding you back. So today I want you to take 5 minutes. Consider what kind of agreements you've made with yourself. What deep-rooted agreements are holding you back? What agreements are you afraid to reveal to yourself? Some common agreements. If you want maybe some examples of this, some of the things we tell us are that it's always going to be this way, or I'm always going to be this way. I can't change this about myself. Success is for everyone else, not me, or this is just my lot in life. I want to be real clear about something today and hear this. Whatever those agreements are, these things are holding you back, and they're going to keep coming up over and over and over again until you finally decide to deal with them. In no small way, these are the self-made prisons that most leaders deal with. They're going to be there and hold you back from your future until you get through them. So I think a big step forward for a leader is when they submit to the process of dealing with these most difficult parts of their life and aligning them with the reality of their beliefs. This is what I really believe is the process of becoming authentic, and it's the process of becoming a great leader. Now go lead. Thank you for listening today. I hope you've been challenged by what you've heard to grow your leadership. We would love for you to reach out and tell us how you are doing on your 90-day challenge. If you would like to connect with us on Facebook and LinkedIn, we have groups dedicated to others who are also going through this 90-day challenge. We have links in the listener notes, and we would love for you to join us. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.